My question is about closure. What do you guys think about closure?
I don't know if I would use the word closure. I call it saying my piece. I always felt the need for me to sleep right. I have to get up my fuck yous and this is what you did and blah blah blah. And don't get me wrong. I know where I go wrong too. I always hold myself accountable because like I say, the more I can hold myself responsible for, the more I have control over the situation where the situation doesn't control me. So I'm always looking to see what can I do better. That's part
Yeah.
of growing. But at the same time, I really like to let people know, hey, clown, this is what happens. But you know,
Right.
yeah, the last situation, I was so proud of myself. I say shit. I just bounced. I bounced before I was even ready to bounce. I didn't even know I bounced. Okay, no, it's true. I just lost interest, just like that. Boom. And dude want to know what's wrong. What's wrong? He knows what he did. And he knows what he didn't do. And I knew him for a long time, and I did not feel the need to point out shit.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me tell you, that shit bother him to this day. And that's okay with me. I sleep very well.
Yeah, that's the thing. That with me, I always have to say, not only don't say always, I have to care in order to say something. Because you
Yeah.
Yeah.
see, I tell people if I'm walking across the street and someone is cussing the hell out of me and you don't know my name, nobody would ever know that is me you're talking to. You would
I
never,
got
because
that.
I could block people out like a big cement wall.
Yep.
Mm,
When I
mm.
Yep.
want to say something, I say something. And even if people is pretending like they're not listening, as long as you ain't fucking deaf, I know you hear me.
Yeah.
So even in the night when you're going to sleep, you're gonna hear my voice in your head saying your dirty mother scunt or whatever it is I had said to you, you know.
But with my
Yes.
situation, we have talked. If there's one thing we've done is, and don't waste my time with all this talking, and you still the way you are, like you're not listening. What's the point of me talking? I don't have to come. I don't have to communicate anything with you. How about that? I don't
Yeah.
have to.
And the thing is, there are different types of relationships, like I said in the beginning. This is the relationship that I give the example of is a relationship with a guy. But there's times when you can have that kind of closure or moments with friends or family as
Yeah,
well. And I've
yeah.
had both
Oh yeah, that is true.
experiences as well. Like I had a friend who did something and I literally just stopped speaking to her overnight, even though she knew what she did wrong. But I
Mhm.
was just like, I didn't need to explain. I didn't feel the need to explain. I thought, you know, you've done something wrong. You're a grown person. You need to fix it, which she did. But I didn't say anything up to this day. And you know, a year later, she sent me a message on WhatsApp, a big essay saying how she missed a friendship, blah, 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 blah. And I still didn't respond.
Did you grade it?
I was about to
Yeah.
say. I was going to ask you that. I was like,
Did
I felt
you
kind of
grade it?
like,
knowing
no,
Jasmine, she probably put a big F on it.
a big fu on it. But I didn't feel the need to go back and say anything because I felt like too much time had passed for a start, and I'd already mourned the loss of a friend because I'd known her from school, so that had gone.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? That had gone. So I was like, there really isn't anything left for me to say.
Can I ask what she did if you don't mind? Because that's a long friendship now.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. It wasn't even anything deep. Like it was to do with money. I'll
Uh-oh.
say that. It was to do with money. She needed to pay back something and she didn't do it when she said she was going to do it. You know, you order something on somebody's account or whatever, you pay back by the time it's supposed to be due, and she didn't do that. So you're going to put me in
Yeah.
trouble now because you
Yeah.
failed to pay what you're supposed to. And it's not
She
until I
could have
said,
been a
look,
good friend and come to you and say, I'm having a little bit of difficulty, and another time is come in, drawing
Yeah,
near, so
but this
blah, blah.
this
Say
is
something.
this is the thing. That even if that was the case, then I would have been like, okay, look, we'll figure it out. That wasn't
Yeah.
even the case. That wasn't the case because she went on holiday during the
Oh,
time before this money was due. She managed to save up all this money to go on holiday and all this other bullshit, having a birthday party and paying for all this
oh,
stuff. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's not
that's taking
like
she's like, oh
advantage.
shit, Jasmine. I'll deal with her.
exactly,
I'll deal with her whenever.
exactly,
Yeah, she know what
exactly.
she did. She definitely knew what she did.
Exactly.
She
Exactly.
did.
So I thought to myself, you shouldn't be doing that as a friend. Not even my
Yeah,
family members would do that. So what gives you the right to do that or think you
yeah.
can do that to me? So I told her she needs to pay the money, which she did, and she stopped speaking. That's fine. And I
Fine.
felt like, okay, I ain't done nothing wrong. I did you the favor. So you can't spin it around on me like I did something wrong. But
Like you're upset.
I just left it. I just left it. And a year later, she come back and sent me this essay. But not once in the essay did she say sorry. Not
Yeah,
once in the
Not.
essay did she
that's
say
a
sorry.
problem. So
She's
she
not.
Exactly.
she's not sorry. Yeah,
Exactly. So
and
that's how I was like, I got nothing to say. I
yeah,
got nothing to say. So in that situation, I literally was like, nope, block, nothing. I didn't even block. I just did silence.
no
Silence is
sorry,
golden.
no sorry, no change.
No,
No, exactly. So there's closure for different reasons, different relationships, different
Mhm,
types of people. And in
mhm.
that situation, it was a straight, I ain't got nothing to say, air. Whereas
I
in this
think
situation,
yeah,
I've known this person for, 3, 4 months, and it's a different thing. Emotions are involved. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, and
yeah.
this closure, that's like, I had a friend from since I was about 12. And I noticed a few years ago, they just see me acting weird, like distancing themselves in a way. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna push it. Now and then I will give a call and just checking in. But then I noticed it was just silence. It, like the last conversation we had, it was kind of fishy. It was kind of judgmental, kind of, that sort of thing. Like, well, all posts luck ain't the same, and that kind of thing. So they're trying to say like, oh, what happened to you don't mean it can be for me. And I was like, where are these kind of statements coming from? And
Judgmental.
I just let it go. And to me, I have had closure because I have accepted the relationship have ended. We didn't have
Mm.
a fight. We didn't have
Mhm.
an argument, like nothing. But it
Yeah,
just,
It,
that's like you
it just
weed a
came to
baby
an
off the breast.
it just
yeah,
came to a natural end.
Yeah. And that's closure. I mean, I'm done, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah,
And that's a different type of closure, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
something that just ended naturally.
really? Yeah.
yeah.
There are different types of closure, definitely. But
Because
I,
there are different
I
situations, different.
definitely,
Yeah, I think the more you respect someone, it depends on the level of respect you have. You certain relationships, you owe it to the person to say, "Hey, I'm moving like this because this is how you made me feel."
yeah,
And then
Yeah.
other people, when they know they do something wrong, it's not your job to go and tell them what they did. They already know.
And it's not your
mm,
job to be sitting down, like trying to figure out, I wonder if I said something. I wonder if I did something that they're upset about. But
Exactly.
I'm like, come on. If we were really friends, you could have come to me and said, look, such and such and such. And I could say, well, such and such and such. But then you don't say anything. Fine.
and that's one of the hardest things is to not be self-critical in these situations because I tend to be very harsh on myself, and I always tend to just think, okay, well, what is it I did? What could I have done better? It's very hard to think that, especially when you know you're not in the wrong, that you
Right.
could have done something else. So that's another layer of it, isn't it? Like you
Yeah.
can't be too hard on yourself when you do decide not to engage with that person, or if you do decide to engage with that person, it's you gotta what I'm trying to say is I suppose I just love myself. I gotta love
Exactly.
myself
But you got to love
first.
Exactly.
yourself first before you could love anybody else. Because I mean,
There
how
we
Sometimes
would
you
you
go.
have
know how
to
to
think
love
of
someone?
yourself. Sometimes you have to think of yourself in the third person, as though how you would think of a sister or a close friend. Sometimes you have to remember to actively love yourself as well, because
Definitely.
there's no judgment in love. Do you see?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's no
I
judgment in love at all. You can see where you went wrong, but there's no judgment. And when
As
you
my
look at it,
husband, he always said, love is love. As simple as it is.
mhm,
Yeah.
There's such a thing. Love is love.
love is love. But then too, what you can do is like you hold yourself accountable as far as the whole closure thing. What is your goal? Is your goal to make up with the person? If that's your goal, don't worry with it. But if it's your goal is to say, hey, I see you calling me, I see you texting, this is the reason why I'm moving like this. And that's
Mm.
it. And you don't give him a foot in to say, hey, come over tonight, da 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 da. You don't give him that opportunity,
Well, yeah. And now
A long way.
this is the thing. This is why I love speaking to my sisters because I get different advice, both great advice, but sometimes I'm like, I still don't know what I'm gonna do. I still don't know. And
Okay,
maybe
you
I'll
don't know
wake up
what you're gonna do,
tomorrow. I
but do you
might
know what you need to do?
But at least you have options. You could say if you're
I
sitting
have
down and
options.
you hear that phone ring and you hear the voice. I mean, like what to do? How am I feeling right now?
Yeah.
Uh,
I
okay.
think that will change as the days go. It really will. So I don't know. All I know is right now I'm happy with drinking my gin.
Points ever.
Oh my goodness. How does gin taste?
Delightful,
That doesn't help. Give me some other adjectives, please. Come on.
tasty.
Could you give me a simile then? A simile. It is like something.
I was gonna say something I shouldn't.
I know exactly what I was gonna say. Exactly what you're gonna say.
Oh my
And on that
goodness.
note, I thank you. I thank you, my sisters, for the advice. As always, I think you've helped a lot. Hopefully, we've helped some people that are listening and going through the similar things. I think, again, we have some very different views, but all good. It's all love, like you said.
Yeah,
Oh,
love
We've
is
got to love
love.
ourselves first.
yeah, yeah.
And I love you both.
I love you too, and I love you both as well.
I love most. I win.
But
Of
you know
course
what?
you do.
I want to add one more thing though. Whatever decision you make it from a place of love.
Yes.
Yes.
Pure
Amen.
love. Agape love, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. That I think that's perfect.